Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Got some interesting feedback, or an interesting question here from Simon Bear. Simon writes in and he says, let's see, let me get my glasses on. Focal length aside, the Nikon DL24-85 versus the Sony RX10 version 2 with a fixed 2.8 lens. Again, forget the bigger zoom range for the moment. Appreciate feedback. Very interesting question, Simon, because not only are these two very interesting cameras, but you say forget the zoom range, forget the focal length for the moment. And that's very hard to do because it's a major factor in why I would choose one or the other. If I don't need the extra zoom range, which maybe that's what you're saying, you don't care about that, then I would go for the DL24-85 because it's smaller and more pocketable. That's the advantage. Plus, it has a faster lens. It's f1.8 at the wide end. Now, the thing is that you got me looking at the specs again on the RX10 version 2, and I'm going to get that camera in and test it. Either that or the version 3. I might get them both in, the version 3 and the version 2. There's advantages to each. The version 3 does not necessarily entirely replace the version 2. And I know Kirk Tuck over at the Visual Science Lab has mentioned that I think he almost prefers the version 2 over his version 3. The version 3, for those of you that don't know, they've changed the lens. It goes out to 600 millimeters, but it's become a 2.4 to f4 lens versus a constant 2.8. I don't know, there's reasons for liking both, but the RX10 version 2 is definitely not an out-of-date camera or has necessarily been replaced. It's just a different one. I mean, that's a 4K camera, 1-inch sensor, 24 to 200 f2.8. This is the version 2 we're talking about, as Simon brought up. Really interesting camera. Some of the best 4K ability on the market, and at a much lower price point than the newer version 3. To your question, Simon, if you do put the focal length aside, I would take the DL24-85 because it's more pocketable and faster on the wide end. Now, let's throw out that for a minute and say somebody's looking at these two cameras, which one would I go with? I'd be hard-pressed, probably. That's a hard decision. I think I might go with the Sony if we are considering the focal length, because I get a 24 to 200 constant aperture f2.8, which is a big advantage. And we also get some very sweet 4K video, no pixel binning, and arguably one of the best all-in-one packages for video on the market, or photography for that matter. So, with all that in mind, it becomes a tough decision. With your criteria of not considering the focal length aside, I probably would still go the Nikon DL24-85 for pocketability. If I do consider the focal length, I think I'm going to go with the RX10 version 2, even though it's not a pocket camera. It's small, light, and some of the best 4K on the market. What do you guys think? Well, which way would you go here? Let's help Simon think this out. Nikon DL24-85, and why? Sony RX10 version 2, and why? Again, thank you for your question, Simon, because you've reignited my interest, or ignited my interest in the RX10. I haven't had an RX10 in for review yet. I'm going to get one in for review. I'm very interested in the version 2. So expect to see that soon, probably next month maybe. Thank you, Simon. Looking forward to your feedback, folks, on which way you would go here. Let us know in the comments below, and as always, let us know your reasoning behind it. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.